What's up, guys? D-Rock 1992 here. For this next video, I'm going to be talking about another actress that I like a lot. She's one of the greatest actresses of all time. You may know her best as Jennifer Aniston. Jennifer Aniston, like Cameron Diaz, who I discussed in my last video, she's up there in age as well. She is 45 years old. She still looks great. I mean, she still looks really good. But she's had a long career. She's had about the same amount of career in terms of years as Cameron Diaz, a little bit. In terms of film debut and all that kind of stuff. But there is no question, Jennifer Aniston's one of the best actresses of our generation, for sure. The first thing I'm going to talk about, and it's really no surprise, you have to talk about her role as Rachel Green, the iconic Rachel Green on Friends. This is what jump-started. This is what put her on the map and put her on a meteoric rise to stardom. I mean, most of you have probably watched Friends. Myself, I watched the first 3 seasons or so of Friends. I just never watched any other seasons beyond that, but but Friends is a good show. It definitely was a good TV show when I watched it. The whole thing with Ross and Rachel, will they do it, won't they do it? Of course, David Schwimmer, Courtney Cox, Matthew Perry, Matt LeBlanc, and Lisa Kudrow were the other stars in that show. Definitely Friends, very memorable show, and it was a meteoric rise for Jennifer Aniston. As for films, in 1988, she comes out with a little short or something like that. It's called Mac and Me. It's a science fiction adventure film. She's an extra in the film, so it really isn't. It's an uncredited role, so it really isn't her debut. You can't really count it. Her debut was a film that's probably not very good. It's a movie called Leprechaun. It's a horror comedy film, and well, it wasn't very good. For those of you who have never heard of the film, I'm not surprised. This film is not very memorable, but she is in the film. This is her debut, and this is what really started her movie career. 1996, she comes out in a starring role in the movie She's the One. Cameron Diaz also is in this film. John Mahoney and Edward Burns. She's the One. Not her breakout role, but certainly another noticeable role. This was while she was on Friends. She did some movies while she was on Friends. She found the time to be in movies while she was on Friends. In 1999, she comes out with Office Space. This is kind of a film that kind of opened some people up to her role, to her in movies, I guess. Office Space is a comedy film. It's about life in the office. It's a satirical look at office work, basically. But this is kind of a film that I think maybe got people noticing. Between Office Space and She's the One, she starred in a few movies, certainly. 1999, she comes out with Iron Giant. This is a voiceover role. I know of the Iron Giant because I had it on video, VHS way back in the day, and she starred as the mother of the little kid who befriends the Iron Giant. So that's that. 2001, she comes out with Rockstar. This is probably, there's a few movies which you could say are a breakout role. Are breakout roles for Jennifer Aniston. Rockstar maybe is one of those. She stars in this with Mark Wahlberg. This is a movie about Mark Wahlberg's. She plays the girlfriend of Mark Wahlberg's character, and it's about rock and roll, the rock and roll lifestyle. This is a look at that, and this is a look at that. So I'm gonna leave that because I'm definitely talking about Mark Wahlberg in the near future. 2003, a few years later, she comes out with Bruce Almighty. Now, this movie, I think, is the one that people consider her breakout. She was she played Jim Carrey's wife. This is actually a movie I reviewed. Bruce Almighty. I also reviewed the sequel to it, the standalone sequel, Evan Almighty. She wasn't in that one, however. She was just in Bruce Almighty, and she plays the wife, and it's a supporting role, but this kind of got people noticing. Certainly. This could be considered her breakout role. It's either Rockstar or Bruce Almighty. Those are probably the two. But 2004, she comes out with Along Came Polly. She is a woman who Ben Stiller's character is really interested in. She plays alongside Ben Stiller. I think Deborah Messing. But she plays alongside Ben Stiller. Ben Stiller's character gets cheated on by by his new wife. He's heartbroken, but he finds Polly Prince, who's much the opposite of him. He's very careful. She's very wild. So these forces come together, and it turns out into a good romantic comedy film. It also has Alec Baldwin in it as well, which I didn't know before, but I'd watched it a long time ago. But I would definitely watch it again because of because of a lot of those different characters. She comes out with 2006's The Breakup, and The Breakup is her and Vince Vaughn. I watched that one a long time ago. It's where they break up, they separate, but they actually have to live in the same apartment. They don't want to move out of their nice apartment, so they both live in there together. They both live in the apartment together, and to be sure, there's a lot of tension there. But it turns out to be a good romantic comedy. Jennifer Aniston is one is definitely an actress who has been in a lot of romantic comedies, and she's been successful at them, no doubt about it. 2008, she comes out with Marley and Me. I think this is a movie with her and Owen Wilson. This is a movie that is much like My Dog Skip, I think. This is a comedy drama film. But Marley and Me, a movie that I don't know if I'd watch it because I think something bad happens to the dog in the film, but either way, it's a film worth mentioning because she's in it with Owen Wilson. Let me see here. Maybe there's one I forgot. No. No, that's what I'll talk about. But anyway, 2009, she comes out with He's Just Not That Into You, which is another romantic comedy film. Uh, one thing that I'm a big fan of is definitely romantic comedies. I'm a fan of them. You know, I'm not afraid to admit it either. I'm a fan, definitely. But He's Just Not That Into You. This is a huge ensemble cast. You have Ben Affleck. You have Drew Barrymore. You have Jennifer Connelly, Kevin Connolly, Bradley Cooper, Scarlett Johansson, Justin Long. You have a large cast in this movie alongside Jennifer Aniston. And this is a look at different relationships. This is just a look at different relationships and how they go, and things like that. But I watched it. I liked the movie. In 2010, she comes out with The Bounty Hunter. Now, this movie was critically derided. I don't believe it. I really don't see the problem with the movie because I liked it. She stars in this movie with Gerard Butler, and she is a woman a reporter who is on the search for for a case, and she unfortunately she skips her bail hearing because she's busy with that. She skips a bail hearing. Gerard Butler's character is a bounty hunter, and he has to go after her and bring her back. And that movie is definitely a comedy, but a good movie nonetheless, definitely. In 2011, she comes out with Just Go With It. I kind of talked about this movie because it has Adam Sandler in it. Adam Sandler has to kind of pretend that he's married to Jennifer Aniston's character in order to impress his girlfriend, or impress a woman he really likes, or in order to not lie to her. The girl is played by Brooklyn Decker, the model. 2011, she also comes out with Horrible Bosses, which is a very good movie. A big ensemble cast in this movie. You have Charlie Day, Jason Bateman, Jason Sudeikis as the main people. She plays Dr. Julia Harris, who's paired up kind of with Charlie Day. She's a dentist. He's a dentist's assistant. And she's a sex-crazed dentist's assistant. She just wants to get horny with Charlie Day, and playful banter there, and Charlie Day takes it as like sexual abuse, whereas most people in that situation would not see it that way, would probably jump right in and sleep with their boss. And so that movie is but I'm going to talk more about the movie later when because I'm due to talk about one of the lead guys. I'll probably talk about Bateman and Sudeikis, most likely, in the near future. 2013, she comes out with We're the Millers, another collaboration with Jason Sudeikis. She also was in another collaboration with him in 2000, with The Bounty Hunter. So she's collaborated quite a bit with Jason Sudeikis. But We're the Millers, she goes along with Jason Sudeikis' character. They have to pretend they're a family so that they can go into Mexico and get some drugs for Ed Helms' character. Ed Helms, better known as Stu in the Hangover series. But We're the Millers, definitely. It is a very funny comedy. Very funny. She's very funny in it. We're the Millers. Very good. It's probably a little better than Horrible Bosses. Uh, but it's a very good movie, no matter how you put it. You know. This year, in 2014, and in the near future, she's coming out with some movies. Definitely, she comes out with an independent film. To start out, she comes out with Life of Crime. In this movie, she stars in it with Isla Fisher, Will Forte, Tim Robbins. This is definitely some good cast, definitely, and it got pretty good reviews on Rotten Tomatoes, 63% for an independent film. But yeah, Life of Crime was one of them. She is coming out with the highly anticipated sequel to Horrible Bosses 2. This one is where the bosses, they have to kidnap an investor's son. Because the investor is going to take them down. The three main guys, Bateman, Day, and Sudeikis, they have their own business. Savvy investor appears to take them down, so they have to kidnap the investor's son in order to put up a ransom to take back their business. Some new characters in the movie. There's one I forgot to mention that I should have mentioned. Jamie Foxx as Dean Mother Effa Jones. A very memorable one there. Some new characters in the film. Chris Pine, I think, is going to play the kidnapped son. Christoph Waltz, better known for films like Django Unchained, and there's probably another film I'm not thinking of right now, but he also was on Saturday Night Live. Christoph Waltz, also in the movie, new character. Jennifer Aniston returns. Kevin Spacey returns as one of the bosses. He was in the first one, one of the horrible bosses. The other horrible boss was killed off in the first film, so he's not in the second film. That guy was played by Colin Farrell. But she's going to appear in Horrible Bosses 2. That's coming out November 26th of this year. Also, actually the next year, 2015, she's slated to come out in 3 different films. She's coming out with a movie called Cake. Actually, it came out this year. It's another independent film, I believe. It has her, Anna Kendrick, Sam Worthington, and actually, I think it's coming out next year, but it was shown at the Toronto International Film Festival. Got good reviews there. It's another movie she's in. Also, next year she's coming out with She's Funny That Way. Also known as Squirrels to the Nuts. Kind of weird, but actually that also came out this year. Venice Film Festival. And let's see here. I believe it already is out. But Owen Wilson is in the movie. He had a collaboration with Aniston, like I said, in Marley and Me. There might have been another film where he had a collaboration with her. I'm not positive, though. Will Forte, Catherine Hahn, a few other people. She plays a therapist in the movie. She's a supporting character. And this is probably another romantic comedy type film. The film centers on a hooker-turned-Broadway thespian who's played by Imogen Poots and follows the recurring intersection between these two facets of her life. A Broadway director, Owen Wilson, pays for her escort services despite being married to the star, played by Catherine Hahn, of his new play A Grecian Evening. The play's writer, played by Will Forte, falls for her as well, despite the fact that he's already dating her therapist, Jennifer Aniston's character, whose alcoholic mother is in rehab. This is probably a love, more than a love triangle. This is a love square, something like that. But this is another movie that's coming out, and also another movie that actually was just announced. I don't have anything on the plot for it yet because I think it was just announced. It's a movie called Convention, which is coming out next year. As for television, I covered the big part of her television career, her being in Friends as Rachel Green. But what not a lot of people would know is that she had like 3 or 4 opportunities to have her own TV series, to be successful on TV. She had 3 or 4 previous opportunities, but they just weren't successful. Ferris Bueller was probably the most memorable one. She was in that as Ferris Bueller, for those of you who don't know, the 1984 classic, I think 1984, Ferris Bueller's Day Off, with Matthew Broderick. But the series that she was in, they weren't very successful at first. Then she came out with Friends, and that's when it all started for her. Other than that, really, she hasn't had to be on TV a whole lot because she's been a successful movie actress. She's had a few she's had a few appearances here and there. She appeared in 2008 on 30 Rock, one of my favorite shows of all time. I just got done watching the show on Netflix. And she plays a woman named Claire Harper, who is a man-eater, basically. This is much like what she was in Horrible Bosses. But she plays a man-eater. She's after men. She sleeps with them. No serious relationship type things. She's one of Tina Fey's Tina Fey's friends. Tina Fey plays Liz Lemon in the show, But yeah, 30 Rock, she had that cameo there. And then the other significant one, she had a appearance on the show Cougar Town, which is significant because Cougar Town stars Courtney Cox, who also was a co-star on Friends, who played Monica. So Jennifer Aniston and Courtney Cox both were on the same show there. A third of the Friends cast was on that show back in 2010. But that was the last TV appearance from her, 2010. She just hasn't had to have a lot of TV appearances since Friends, basically. In fact, after that, she's only had 3 television appearances since her Friends career ended in 2004. And that is it for my about on Jennifer Aniston. She's had a great, successful career. Here's hoping she has she has even more of a long, successful career ahead of her. I could see her having a Meryl Streep type career. Meryl Streep's been a very successful actress for a long time, obviously. Jennifer Aniston looks like she's headed down that path. And that's a good thing, definitely. Good for her. She's been a great actress for a long time. And that's the end of this video. D-Rock 1992